Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Aave community call. I'm Isa from the Marketing and Comms team, and I'm very happy that you all could join us here. So without further ado, I'll pass it off to Stanley.
Yeah, hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. There's a decent amount of people, 124 members from the community. I don't have anything kind of like a special to introduce and in the introduction, besides that, I think we can pretty much start, and all the community members that are on the agenda, we can present on their parts. And I think at the end, from the governance side, can continue from here. Do we have Etienne here yet, or? I think Isa, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think Etienne might not be in yet, but that's okay. We'll let him jump in as soon as he arrives. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and pass it off to Taurus then to talk about a little bit about the recent Aave integration. Let's see. Hello, do we have someone from Taurus here? Scrolling.
I think Lamin is here. He needs to unmute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Lamin. If you could unmute yourself, I will just added you as a co-host, so you should be able to speak now.
Perfect. I was not allowed to unmute myself. So good evening, good afternoon, everybody. So you want me to give a bit of heads up on what we did with Aave? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds great.
So basically, in 30 seconds, who Taurus is. So Taurus is a fintech based out of Switzerland. We are very fortunate to be entrusted by the full spectrum of banks who use our tech solutions for custody, tokenization, blockchain connectivity on cryptocurrencies, on tokenized assets, and on digital currencies, e-stablecoins. So we work with global banks. We work with the 2 Swiss crypto banks are clients of us. We work with retail banks. We work with stock exchange, etc. As part of our technology, we started building first our custody platform for cryptocurrencies 3 years ago. Today, roughly, I think we have 15 banks clients. 1 out of 2, roughly, in Switzerland are clients of Taurus. And we decided very fast, 18 months ago, to extend it to custodying, I would say, tokenized securities, i.e., being able not only to process ERC20 smart contract transfer functions, which basically everybody can do, but although go quite deeper, allowing us and allowing our clients to issue any token on any smart contract, as well as process and service those securities, i.e. our custody platform is able to detect any smart contract call. And this solution that we've built is totally generic for any Ethereum-based smart contract. Tezos is coming in the next coming weeks, and DeFi has been something we've been following closely over the last 18 months, and Aave or any DeFi protocol is a set of smart contracts. So when we discussed with Stani and Ajit, we said, okay, let's try to integrate it. Let's see if we can make it work. And actually, our technology was also allowing clients to interact with any external smart contracts. So basically what we did with Aave, we integrated it in our tech stack. We made it work. So clients are able to deposit, withdraw, lend, stake assets of their choice. So now we have basically distributed not even distributed, we just made our clients aware that they can do it. So there is quite some traction on it. We've been actually quite surprised because typically financial institutions are relatively reluctant with DeFi. And I don't know whether I'm allowed to, but there might be a couple of projects focusing on the institutional segments. So I think it was quite, I would say, an efficient and fast, integration. But I think most importantly, it confirmed our hypothesis that traditional regulated financial institutions are really interested in DeFi, especially in generating, solid risk-adjusted returns in these periods of very low interest rate environment. That's basically in 3-4 minutes what we did, and the outlook is, still pushing further what we've just talked about, but with a focus maybe on institutional players.
Thanks so much, Lamine. Really cool. And yeah, very happy to be collaborating with Taurus in this regard. And I'll pass it on to Etienne now, who has joined us to introduce himself and give a little bit of context on Aave governance.
Hey everyone, this is Etienne. I had a little bit of a hiccup. I couldn't unmute myself, so sorry for that. So I'm just gonna give a quick update on what happened on the governance side since the last call we had. So there's been a couple of AIPs which have passed. The first one was the Aavenomics Quarterly Upgrade, which was a proposal to add incentives of 550 Aave per day to stake Aave stakers, and also add a slashing amount in case there's an insolvency event. Then BAL was added to Aave 2 in the AIP 8 as collateral and also for lending. Then there was the enabling of the Aave Balancer Pool liquidity staking, which was enabling people to stake their Aave ETH Balancer Pool liquidity tokens in the Aave staking module. And then the last one, most recently, was adding X Sushi on Aave. So this was the most recent. Those were the most recent things that passed the governance. But there's also been a lot of hot topics of discussion in the forum, of course multiple asset listings, teams and individuals also that would like their asset to be listed on Aave. There's been also talks of how to best transition from V1 to V2. Someone has proposed that possibly there could be a disabling of new borrows on Aave V1, since there's still a lot of assets in V1. There's been talks of liquidity incentives. There's been the YYRN team, or just not sure if it's from the team, but someone has proposed a deeper cooperation between Aave and YYRN, maybe instantating a special credit facility for the YYRN treasury. There's been talks of exposure ceilings for limiting the amount the amounts that can be borrowed from particular assets. So lots of new exciting stuff. There's also recently there's been a few university delegates coming online on Aave governance. There's been blockchain at HEC and blockchain at UCLA, which have recently come online, and they already have a lot of Aave delegated. One of them has 30,000 Aave delegated to them, which is pretty exciting. So that's it on the governance update side. I'll pass it to Taurus Taurus has already talked. Gauntlet to present the V2 risk report.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I have a quick presentation. Could you please allow me to share screen, Isa?
Yes, one sec. Is it working? Okay.
Nope, it's still disabled.
Okay, sorry about that. Give me 1 second.
I think you might need to make me a co-host.
You should be already.
Well, while this is going, I guess I can start a bit.
I just made you the main host. Hopefully that works. And in the meantime, I'll figure out these settings.
Oh, I think you made Tarun the main host.
From what I see, he's not co-host yet. So yeah, we need to.
Need Watson. Yeah.
Tarum, it seems like you might be the host now. Can you give back the host control to Isa or Watson?
Sure, let me try to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, over the members option, you have the more, and you can give the host to other.
I'm on a phone. That's my bigger problem with this.
The other thing you might be able to try, Turn, is if you exit, I think it will prompt you to make someone else the host.
Okay.
I think.
Yep, this should
You are the
work.
host now, Watson.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, so just a quick brief overview on the work that we've been doing with Aave. We ran simulations, and so I guess a quick overview of who we are. Gauntlet is a simulation platform for on-chain risk management. We use battle-tested techniques such as agent-based simulations that are used in algorithmic trading. That is used in the algorithmic trading industry to manage risk, capital efficiency, and rewards. And so high level as well, what our agent-based simulations are is we perform stress tests for risk analysis and capital efficiency. We identify and define key metrics, and then we simulate scenarios around borrow parameters, liquidation incentives, and slashing impacts on the safety module, as well as we take a look at the asset-specific metrics in order to inform judgments about how we should be varying the parameters in our search space. In key and important market risks that we look at are under collateralization and insolvency in accounts based off of changes in the market prices of collateral, as well as the market prices of the borrowed assets, a loss of liquidity in the external marketplace. So this is, as many of you know, as volatility changes, as market conditions change, the marketplace and liquidity is very sensitive to that. In addition, we look at cascades of liquidations. So when a particular liquidation happens, we look at the market impact of the liquidator selling the collateral into the market, which again, like further increases the amount of liquidations that you see. And then potential insolvency of the insurance fund based off of the market impact and selling of collateral into the market. And on the asset specific level, the things that we model are the volatility of specific assets. We also look at the correlation between assets. On the right, we constantly monitor how assets are correlated in trailing periods. We monitor the accounts that hold specific assets to see if there's correlation and how that affects the overall health of the protocol, as well as liquidity on centralized and decentralized exchanges. And this obviously, like I've stated before, is heavily impacted by the volatility of the assets, and we make sure to take that into account in our simulations. We also look at the network congestion impacts. So on the right, yeah, we're constantly modeling the expectation of gas price distributions over any given period. We have expected transaction delay times based off sampled gas values, and all of this goes into what we expect to happen in times of high network congestion. Obviously, the main impact is liquidation transaction failures. And we also put a lot of effort into modeling liquidator behavior. We have dynamic liquidator behavior in response to volatility and liquidation sizes, and liquidators that maximize profits with respect to the market conditions, the close factor, and account assets. And we'll publish the report shortly, but high-level results. We sort of make sure to monitor the borrowed and collateral asset specific distributions on Aave, as well as we look at the insolvency percentage in terms of the entire protocol, as well as on an asset specific level. And I think that, and another thing that we do is we identify potentially problematic symbols and assets, and we run parameter adjustments to see if we can optimize it. On the left here, you can see that the insolvency as a function of volatility in YFI LTV is monotonic. And so identifying where we can optimize it is of important interest to us. And on the right, you see insolvency as a function of volatility and liquidation threshold. And so from these two plots, you can sort of see that because of the monotonic nature of the LTV, there's a larger impact. Like varying LTV will have more larger results. And I think in addition, we also look at the liquidation incentive. And on the left, you can see how the total collateralization of the protocol changes as a function of volatility and Wi-Fi liquidation incentive. And on the right, we define sort of a slashing percentage in our simulations. And so the slashing percentage, we actually defined as a 1% decrease in the Aave amount. So that's the amount that needs to be sold into the market, as well as a 10% decrease in the total size of the safety module. And an interesting twist that we added to our simulations is we built out a specific market impact model for Aave, where we actually take out the centralized exchange volume and only look at DEX volume. And the reasoning is we anticipate if slashing needs to occur, that a lot of centralized exchange market participants will pull bids. And again, we don't even take into account the balancer 80/20 ETH Aave pool. And so this is a very conservative estimate. And still we see that the percentage of times where slashing happens is very low. And yep, just high level conclusions. Of course, there's more in the report, but given the current parameters, there's a low risk of insolvency and slashing of the safety module. Parameter changes over time need to be dynamic as market conditions change. And at Gauntlet, we hope to help maintain this level of safety as Aave is sort of pushing forward as a pioneer in the space, as you can see with like X Sushi, where the amount deposited is almost a multiple of the average daily traded volume, as well as the AMM pool. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Watson. That was great. Now, Covalent is here to talk about the recent Dungeons and Data hackathon and what they built on there. Is someone from Covalent here? Seems like they're not there, or maybe you can write in the chat if you're muted and can't unmute yourself. But otherwise, I'll just pass it. I'll just pass it to Alok from Standard Crypto to talk about liquidity.
Oh, sorry, someone from Covalent is here.
Yeah, I just made him co-host, so you should be able to, to speak
cool.
now.
I was trying to wave my hands like this, trying to see if anyone could see me while I'm frantically trying to unmute myself here. And
yeah,
can I dare ask, am I able to share my screen?
Good question.
Let me just try this. And let's
You should
see.
be as a
Can you
co-host.
see that?
Yeah.
Great.
Looks good.
Okay, awesome. I was a little scared to almost ask that. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Statty, Isa, Mark, Alex, Irene. Thanks again for the invite to update your community on our past Dungeons and Data campaign, which we ran earlier this month. My name is Harish. I am the head of developer relations at Covalent. And just a very quick blurb about us. We at Covalent provide a unified API to provide visibility and transparency for all blockchain data. And the purpose of the Dungeons and Data campaign is to empower a wide community of what we call citizen data scientists, analysts, enthusiasts, to be able to quickly and effectively analyze data sets with little to no coding. And we empower them to do this so that they can create interesting apps, case studies, visualizations. And we're really excited to have had the opportunity to partner with Aave to run this data science campaign and a focus on the Aave protocol v2. Dungeons Data is intended to be an all-inclusive campaign with data challenges for anyone at any skill level. So for example, we had a master artist campaign or challenge where participants needed to create some sort of original graphic related to Covalent or Aave. We had puzzles where participants would be able to take, for example, a key word from a video conversation between Ganesh and David of Aave that we had, and then find the transaction hash of the largest borrow event on Aave v2 to be able to unlock a secret room and then be able to complete the puzzle. So the intent wasn't to just focus on those that maybe had a little bit of coding experience or were familiar with Tableau or Power BI or some of these other data analysis tools. It was meant to be all inclusive and include everyone. And what's cool about the Covalent API is actually really easy to find information like the number of borrows or the number of liquidations or flash loans. We provide a unified API, but you can actually access this and run the queries directly from the browser. So we've got this one endpoint here, for example, where you can get the V2 network assets, for example. And we've got several other endpoints where you can fetch Aave-specific information. So for Dungeons and Data, we had over 1,000 participants across all challenges, including a 15-year-old self-taught crypto student who put together this submission for the Master Artist Challenge, which we thought was incredible for somebody at that age, as well as the level of detail in terms of what this image represents. We had 10 solid submissions for our Elite Data Barbarian Challenge. So this was a challenge where we included opportunities for presenting visualizations, for presenting case studies, as well as for building some decentralized applications. And the visualizations and the case studies were the brainchild of my colleague, Brandon, who currently runs our Alpha Alarm Twitter feed. I don't know if it'll be very easy here to get Brandon Roshan unmuted so he can say a few words about the data visualization challenges. But as you're doing that, maybe I'll kind of show you what we had in terms of some of the submissions. So this was a really cool one where they were comparing the top 20 tokens by USD value, deposit value on Aave, and applied a little bit of music and some colorful visualization there to be able to have that submission. So that was really, really interesting. For our dApps, we saw 2 governance dashboards that were presented. So one here where, in addition to having a dashboard for improvement proposals, also the ability to submit a proposal. And again, these were all built by the community. We had one which was a mobile version of the governance dashboard, tying in the ability to see all the Aave network assets, as well as a wallet checker. And again, all of it powered using the Covalent API. So lastly, I just want to thank Aave for their contribution in terms of the support for the Dungeons and Data campaign. We were also able to get these fantastic NFTs created for the winners. So all of them will receive an NFT similar to this. And next up for us at Covalent is another campaign which we call 1 Million Wallets. And this is, again, inclusive for everyone. The objective is to get people to build interesting and creative wallet designs as part of both the community events and the hackathon. So that's really it. Thank you so much again, Aave. Really appreciate this, and hopefully we get an opportunity to run another campaign with you guys again in the future.
Thanks, Harish. Now we have a couple of people that are going to talk about liquidity mining, liquidity incentives. It's been like a really like a subject that people are really passionate about. So we have Alec from Standard Crypto that should be able to unmute himself, I think. Hopefully. Are you here?
Hey, there it goes.
All right, great.
So I can set a little bit of color for how we've been thinking about it, but Anjan from ParaFi is the guy that put together the initial proposal that I think really has the shape in place that I think a lot of us got excited about. So I want to make sure that he gets all the credit for proposing it, and he's thought about it in depth too, and I know he's got a chance to talk after me. So what I wanted to do is really frame at least how some of us in the community think about the purpose of liquidity mining for Aave. And I wrote some of this up in the governance forum a few days ago. So there's a more fleshed out version there. Please respond to it if you have any issues or kind of questions with the basis behind it. But my overall sense is that, number one, we need to acknowledge that it's pretty awesome how far we've come without liquidity mining so far. I think many other DeFi protocols need liquidity mining to get users and to strike a chord. And I think it speaks to the quality of the protocol, the quality of the team, the quality of the community that we've been able to accomplish all we have without any liquidity mining to date. And so it puts us in a very advantaged position because we know we have a form of product market fit that's quite unique. And so now when it comes to what's next, I think like any good startup that has really strong product market fit that needs to experiment with different growth channels, that's where we are right now. And so in my mind, liquidity mining is a really important experiment to run for the primary reason that we don't know how effective liquidity mining would be within Aave. And I guess we know that there are pros and cons to liquidity mining, and we can speak to those in more detail on the forum, perhaps. But in general, I think the risk is that it's quite costly. You're using valuable, scarce tokens to do something that amounts to a user acquisition campaign. But on the plus side, it's such a powerful lever for coordinating usage and capital, and really helping the protocol improve in areas where it needs improvement, and it's a means to generate long-term value. So I love the idea of trying a liquidity mining experiment, keyword being experiment. And what I mean by that is I want to give us the chance to do it, see what happens, learn from it, react, possibly do more later, possibly not do more later. And to me, it feels like something we have to do. I think that the proposal that Anjan sketched out on the forum seemed generally really good, right? It's kind of a limited number of pools. It's a limited number of tokens that are there. One suggestion that I made is I think we should think about it as a budget, where there's just a finite number of tokens that we do, and the default is that it ends rather than it continues. But again, I think the parameters that were chosen there are generally really good. And then the last thing I want to comment on, and this is more something I think philosophically for us as a community we could do a good job with, is I think I like the idea of goal setting around proposals like this. Right? I think again, Anjan did an awesome job of laying out these 4 goals or items. Say, hey, like, we would love to do a better job of migrating liquidity from V1 to V2. We'd love to do a better job can we do better on decentralization or kind of our Gini coefficient for the token holder base? Can we do a better job of increasing long-term staked Aave? So I really like those. And I think we should go one step further and almost think about metrics associated with the goals of each of these experiments that we do. And ideally start adding quantitative rigor into this, because for a good experiment to be valuable, at the end of it, we want to take a look at it and say, did it work? Did it not work? How successful was it? And in my mind, we need to work on really good feedback loops between learning from these experiments so that we can directly improve, hold ourselves accountable. So that was a bit of a, I would say, an overall philosophical frame for how I think about liquidity mining in the Aave context. Of course, very eager to hear the feedback of everyone in the community to see where they agree or disagree. But unless there's something else specifically that you all want to hear from me right now, maybe it's a good time to flip over to Anjan and he can talk through some of the specifics.
There we go. Hey everyone. This is Anjan with ParaFi. For context, we've been kind of longtime supporters and holders of Aave, so really excited to be here and kind of walk the community through how we're thinking about it. We've talked to a number of stakeholders, the team, got a lot of good feedback from the community. So thank you to everyone who kind of provided feedback to our proposal. Kind of taking a step back, the way we really thought about this, like Alok mentioned, and what we resonated with is this is really a pilot or an experiment to see what needs to be adjusted. Does liquidity mining work versus a set in stone program? And I think one thing we want to avoid is essentially overpaying for liquidity in the short term and underpaying for liquidity in the long run. So really the purpose of this program here is to distribute a very small amount of Aave over the next, call it 3 to 4 months, and see what works and what doesn't work. And as long as we have kind of these core KPIs in mind, I think as a community, we can come together and fine tune those liquidity mining programs. So what we're kind of thinking about for this initial proposal, which we should see on chain fairly soon, is we'll distribute 550 staked Aave to borrowers and lenders. So we didn't want to just distribute Aave, we wanted to distribute staked Aave because staked Aave is inherently adding value to the protocol, right? It's helping provide security, it's kind of staked automatically, and liquidity providers are earning a yield on their Aave. They're kind of incentivized to kind of stay in the network and provide value long-term versus just, exiting the system. The other component is we want to reward a couple of targeted pools versus, every single pool. So for example, DAI, USDC, USDT, GUSD, WBTC and ETH. We think these are some of the more productive pools, and we can use liquidity mining rewards to target these specific pools based on the underlying borrowing demand of those specific pools. So rather than just do a blanket kind of equal distribution to these pools, we want to reward distribution based on the underlying dollar value of the borrow demand on V2. And I think what this starts to do is you start to, we'll hopefully see an increase in utilization, right, in V2. Hopefully this also means more liquidity migrates over to V1, from V1 to V2. We're still seeing about 40% of liquidity still in V1, which we think is suboptimal for Aave. And then of course, understand kind of user behavior. Are people kind of recursively levering up? What pools need more liquidity? How do we fine tune the parameters? Do we need a vesting period? So these are some of the questions we'd like to revisit after kind of starting the program, hopefully in a few months. And again, just kind of continuously iterate on this program as we get feedback and data.
Great, thanks, Engine. Now there are a couple updates from the Aave development team that should present right now.
Yeah, there's we found a developer. Emilio is here.
Yes, Emilio is here, I think. I just made him co-host.
All right. Okay, while Emilio gets ready, maybe we can actually switch to, you have also community developer updates. So there's a couple projects building on Aave that have updates. For example, AP Wine. So the developers at AP Wine want to mute themselves and talk. That'd be great. I think Antoine, for example. Antoine, are you able to unmute yourself?
Hi, Ernesto, you're muted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I was Emilio is not available, but for the update on the on some developments related with the Aave Genesis team and so on, like something that probably like the Polygon guys will talk later is that it was released now a market of Polygon, so it's like the first main effort on the L2 direction from the Aave community, and yeah, I think that is the main update that we have at the moment, and we consider is quite important, and like I hope the community thinks that.
That was Emilio. I think he, yeah.
Guys, can you hear me?
Right,
Yeah.
This is Emilio, I guess. Sorry, I am in the train right now, so I'm attending the community call. There is a bit of noise under. I see there is a raised hand, Ulisse. Maybe. Anyway, like just to continue on the topic that Ernesto raised on of side chains and scaling essentially the other protocol. There has been a lot of discussion in the community regarding the possibility of scaling the other protocol. the first effort came by the community and by the Matic team to implementing actually the Matic Polygon, actually, to be more precise, the Polygon team on having a Aave market on Polygon as well, which you already tried that, guys. It's really amazing. It's super fast and really cheap. Props to the Polygon team, of course, on their work. And how the same way that article or that the blog post announced, I mean, the community is also putting effort in analyzing different other scaling solutions. We know that there are some other solutions coming, like, for example, there is probably Arbitrum that is, as they announced, like they have released a final testnet that is our mainnet candidate, so they are probably very close to release. And they also did the effort in the past of already deploying the Aave contracts to their own testnet, which was really cool. I personally tried, and it was super fast and super cheap to use. So we really look forward to, as a community, and I personally as a participant on the Aave ecosystem, I really look forward to Arbitrum allowing the community to deploy the Aave contracts on their platform. And for sure, what is clear right now is that in the short term, there will be kind of a multi-chain or multi-rollups ecosystem going forward, at least in the next few months, probably. So it will be really cool to see how the space will evolve and how Aave will grow within this space as well.
Perfect. Thanks. We have a Sandeep here from Polygon that can talk about that more, actually.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for inviting us also. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Can anybody confirm? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very excited to be here for this community call, and a lot of amazing people came and spoke. This is really, really cool. And as many of you guys would have already seen that, the announcement that was made by the Aave team that they'll be exploring or kind of deploying on Polygon for the scalability needs. And just a brief about current Polygon POS chain. Although Polygon is a multi-chain scalability solution for Ethereum, which will have multiple scalability solutions. Like currently, it's live with Plasma and POS solutions. In future, we are also more different kind of scalability. Details will follow on that. So, but the current live solution, the hybrid, POS and Plasma solution that is there, it has seen massive traction, and it's a highly decentralized, solution, and that's why we are glad that Aave team and the Aave community actually chose, to deploy on Polygon. It is run by around 90 validators right now with $600 million, at stake. And the network is highly scalable. You could technically do like thousands of transactions in $1 by paying only $1 of gas fees. So we hope that Aave will be able to create a very nice user experience, and those, small users who get priced out on Ethereum mainnet, they would be able to interact with the Aave platform, and we hope to see a large amount of smaller users migrating towards this implementation of Aave, and more new users also joining Aave platform for interacting with the Aave lending and borrowing ecosystem. So yeah, very excited and looking forward. I mean, I think we have very like really cool campaigns coming up, and I think Aave team and community will let you guys know, when those things are ready to go live. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you, Sandeep. On the community developer side, I think maybe Antoine or Ulysse would be ready to talk about AP Wine, which is a new project. Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much for unmuting. This is Ulysse from AP Wine. Thank you very much all for organizing this talk, this meeting. I just want to quickly introduce the project and what we're doing in collaboration with Aave. So AP Wine is one of the first protocols for yield tokenization on Ethereum. What it means is that users and farmers can hedge their risk by tokenizing their yield on Aave. Let's say if you deposit some DAI, if you deposit some DAI on Aave and then you get DAI in return, then say you get 1% per month. Well, thanks to AP Wine, you would be able to get that 1% in advance by tokenizing your yield and selling it ahead of time. So not only this allows you to hedge your risk as a farmer, but also create and get creative with building new strategies for yieldception. What we like to call yieldception is basically selling your yield and then reinvesting that money into Aave again, and then reselling your yield and so on. So you get kind of a leverage strategy that you can build with both Aave and AP Wine. And in that regard, we're very happy to be bringing that new DeFi primitive on the blockchain. Also, we really want to thanks Aave for helping us since the beginning and giving us this grant that allows us to bring the development forward. And so very happy to be integrating Aave on the platform. We have already integrated Aave, so you can deposit DAI on AP Wine. And so basically what it allows you to do right now is tokenize your yield for 1 month and get that yield ahead of time. Yeah, that's a quick introduction, as quick as we can do, but I think it sums up pretty well. If anybody has any questions or concerns, please let me know. We'd be happy to answer.
Thanks, Ulysse. Now we have Ben from Charge Particles that can come up.
Hey guys, and the mute worked. Excuse the angelic background behind me. It's that time of day. So firstly, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I am just going to share my screen, perhaps. Oh, that's my whole screen. Did that work, actually? Can everybody see my screen? Okay, great. So we are Charge Particles. We're at charge.fi. So we are a protocol that enable users to take their NFT and transform it into a basket or a container that can hold other tokens. So we have an integration with Aave. So it creates this new token dynamic of you have an NFT and you can deposit tokens that are converted to the A token equivalent that are generating yield within that NFT. So this creates this new token mechanic that allows the time of holding this NFT to be represented by the accumulated interest or charge within it. So we went live last month. We've got a lot of really cool features. If you haven't checked us out, please do so. We have an event every 3 weeks. We have one next Tuesday where we do a bunch of drops. But the protocol launched in February. We've been adding a lot of new features continuously since we've launched. And it's a protocol, but the app, the dApp itself is fully functional. So you can create an NFT, very easily. You're minting a charged particle, as we call them. You can enable creator royalties. So this is an interesting aspect. There's a pun there. That a portion of the interest generated would always go back to the creator. So like an artist royalty. And this is all using Aave A tokens, Aave yield generated by Aave. But then you have the ability to take this token and deposit any token inside of it. So obviously Aave is our liquidity provider of choice. You can deposit any ERC20. So anything that's represented on Aave A token can be put inside of an NFT and start earning interest within that NFT. And then obviously we have support for any ERC20 token. So this just went live about 2 weeks ago. And then next week we're adding support for ERC 721. So you can start to create this Russian doll of an NFT, owning Aave A tokens that are generating interest that trigger something else. It gives you this ability to do all of this. So we're a protocol, we're NFT agnostic, but our DApp, which is focused on crypto art, has been live for a month and a half. So this is a mini, over a year of work. And we're super excited to be working with Aave and doing a bunch of fun things in the space with NFTs. So thanks, guys. I'll keep it short.
Thanks, Ben. We have someone from Giro. I think Daniel. Can you unmute yourself?
Hi, actually, it will be Lewis speaking on behalf of Gyroscope.
No problem. Cool. Thanks.
Hi. Perfect. Hi, everybody. Well, thanks very much for having us on. It's really great to be here. And we've recently heard the great news that we are the recipient of an Aave ecosystem grant. Really excited about that. And thanks for the support. I will keep this very short and thought I would just use a few minutes to quickly say what Gyroscope is, and try to show you the testnet we have deployed as well, so you can give it a shot. So in one sentence, so Gyroscope is an all-weather stablecoin, and we're trying to build a stablecoin for the DeFi of tomorrow. So we want a stablecoin that is around in 5 decades time, not just 5 months time. We have observed at the moment that there are many challenges with the existing stablecoin ecosystem. Just to give 2 concrete examples, so we see with uncollateralized stablecoins, so for example, empty set dollar, basis cash, these stablecoins have issues around requiring speculators to bet on the continual growth of the money supply. Then on another side, we have another type of stablecoin that essentially relies on a reserve, but these reserves are subject to bank run risk, the possibility that the funds that are capitalizing the stablecoin aren't available at the point that users wish to withdraw them. We have seen these existing problems, and we have come up with something that's based on our academic background as well, that we hope solves many of these problems. So at this point, I will just share my screen just so you can see the website. Hopefully this is visible. So there are 3 main aspects to Gyroscope here. So it's all weather. The idea being that it stratifies all of the risks in DeFi. So not just the price risk, but also regulatory risk and governance risks, risks around centralization. So we're trying to make it as robust as possible. Secondly, we have this mechanism that allows the stablecoin to keep itself to the peg by incentivizing the market participants to keep it to the peg. So we achieve this through new AMM designs, which I won't go into, but we have put plenty of material out in blogs that explains that. And finally, we have sought to improve the existing governance mechanisms that we see as well. So At the moment, there's a tendency for governance to be focused on fairly short-term payoffs. We are seeking to correct this so that governance is remunerated by taking a position in the long-term outcome of the protocol. So yeah, I don't have time to go into that now, but I do encourage you to have a look at our stuff if you'd like to on that to learn more. So in 30 seconds, I'll just do a high-risk live demo of Gyroscope. So let's see what you make of it. So this is the test net. It's up on Covalent. You can come here with different testnet tokens, so ETH, wrapped ETH, USDC, DAI, and you can mint Gyro against these tokens. So let's try it. So let's try to mint using 0.2 ETH, 200 USDC, 200 DAI, just choosing numbers at random. It gives you an estimated Gyro that will be minted. If I press mint, hopefully the transaction will confirm quite quickly. Just check what's going on here. Okay, I will swap accounts. Let's go from here. Okay. So let's try from this one. So let's do the same thing. So 0.2 wrapped ETH, 200 USDC, 200 DAI. Press mint. Confirm the transaction. Approve the tokens. And we should see in a second that the Gyro dollar balance increases. There we go, so it's increased. You can do the same in the other direction with redeeming, but I won't do that now. So that's it. And yeah, thanks very much for having us on, and thanks very much for supporting us with the grants. We are really excited and very much long-term supporters of Aave. So, hand over. Thank you.
Thank you. We have someone from Blockchain Capital, Alex from Blockchain Capital, to talk about something interesting they're working on.
Okay, here we go. Hey everyone, I'm Alex with Blockchain Capital. We're a crypto venture firm and a supporter of Aave. And we've been thinking about how to put in place a structure for grants that's decentralized and can scale long term. And so we currently have an internally run ecosystem grants program in place, but there isn't a way for the community to allocate from the reserve to fund proposals. And the existing program, I think, has limited community involvement. And so we want to propose an Aave Grants DAO, which will be community-led versus internally led, and which can provide a decentralized avenue for funding and supporting development of the Aave ecosystem, hopefully for the longer-term future. And the goal with the Aave Grants DAO really is to provide resources to grow the ecosystem in a way that can scale with the community over time and isn't reliant on the Genesis team. And so we want to create a pathway, I think, really for all the ideas that are bubbling around the Discord and the community forum to become realities by providing financial and community support as well as guidance for grantees. And in order to operate a grants DAO, we're forming an 8-person committee that'll spearhead the process and will be responsible for reviewing applications and connecting grantees with resources. The community will have some level of discretion over grants below a certain size, and that hasn't been determined yet. But let's say, for instance, it's grants below 100K, and so for any grant application above that size, the application could be made directly to the governance forum. But below that size, the committee would have discretion over it. And what this does is keeps the small grant applications from creating too much noise on the forum. And it lets the application process be generally fast and efficient, but still provides an ultimate check on the committee as larger grants will need a governance vote. And so the committee would also produce reports that outline how grants have been given out, as well as solicit regular feedback from the community. As really, I think the idea here is for the Aave community to dictate the general direction of the program over time, with the committee really just serving as an operating group to help realize the goals of the community. And so we've started to assemble a group of reviewers, but we're still looking for a few more, as well as a lead for the program. And the way it's going to work is the lead will be the most time-intensive position of the 8, and won't hold any keys to the multi-sig. And so there will be 7 reviewers who will hold, I think, what will ultimately be a 4 of 7 multi-sig. And the time commitment on the reviewer side is likely to be 2 to 5 hours based on what we've seen in the kind of Uniswap and compound grants programs, which are, I think, most similar to what we're trying to do here, the examples that we have out there. And so we're looking into a few folks for the lead, but if anyone on the call has suggestions for who might make a good fit, please send me or Stani a note. I'm reachable on Twitter or Telegram. And we're still ironing out some of the details around, the size that the program will start at, but we want to really treat this as, I think, a 6-month pilot program where we'll look to gather feedback as to how it can improve or be modified to be in a better form for the future. And we'll split that 6 months really into 2 rounds that'll be a quarter long each, and applications will be accepted on a rolling basis throughout that quarter. The committee will optimize for very quick turnaround times and low application overhead overall, so that it's as easy as possible to get kind of up and running and involved. And in keeping with the spirit of a pilot, we'll start small and we'll, I think, request an initial budget somewhere between 500K and $1 million per quarter to begin with the hope of scaling that up subject to feedback from the community. So in terms of focus, the grants program will be fairly broad, and there will be a few areas that will be prioritized out of the gate. And to mention some of those: protocol development, integrations, applications that plug into Aave markets, developer tooling, educational and marketing materials, code audits, events and hackathons, and bounties. But really all applications will be taken into consideration. And we'll give some guidance with respect to what are the types of things that maybe won't be funded as well. And so given that some of those areas will require more resources than others, the program will probably need to scale its budget over time to meet that. But we want to make sure that we have a working process in place before we ask for a larger budget. So in terms of timeline, we're going to try and get an ARC up on the forum this week that kind of describes all of what I just kind of walked through in more detail. And we'll look for feedback on that, as well as help finalizing the committee members before moving to a proposal. So if you're interested in helping out, please do get in touch. Thanks.
Thanks. Leighton at PoolTogether, you want to come on?
Yeah. So I'll make this super quick. We have a couple things we're super excited about. One is the integration between Aave and PoolTogether is being audited right now by consensus, and so it's going to be launching next week. So super excited. What that basically means is anyone will be able to create a no-loss prize pool powered by Aave that uses any of the assets on Aave. And also we'll likely see a governance proposal is to add pool reward distributions to Aave prize pools. So want to make the community aware of that. And then also PoolTogether has also been deployed to Polygon along with Aave, which was deployed to Polygon today. And so you can also you'll also be able to create prize pools, no loss prize pools on Polygon using Aave as a yield source again. So mostly just wanted to make everyone aware of that. And yeah, we're super excited to finally get the Aave integration done and looking forward to a lot of new prize pools. That's all I have.
Thank you. I think we could take a few questions from people on the call. I'm not sure, like those that are, especially if you're already unmuted, maybe that'd be easier. But if you want to get unmuted, maybe you can write in the chat that you want to get unmuted.
You should be able to raise your hand. So if you have a question, just do it, you should be able to do it there at the bottom controls.
Hello, everyone. So my question is in regards to using PoolTogether tickets, hopefully has collateral on Aave to borrow against it. Is there any plans for that? Thank you.
Leighton, do you think you could take that one?
Yeah, Etienne, I can contribute a bit on the discussion and say, like, there was some research in the past related to using PoolTogether tickets as collateral on lending markets. It's not so straightforward, but it's for sure something that the community, like PoolTogether tickets and also other kind of assets that are not really so similar to completely fungible assets like tokens. There has been some discussion related to that, and for sure there will be some further research on the topic related to, it's more kind of a development problem, kind of risk-related problem, and also implementation problems. So there will be for sure further research in the future on the topic. I don't know if the PoolTogether guys want to add something, but I guess.
I can add also that pretty much like any kind of like proposal can be made by the community, and especially like when it comes to asset listings and parameters. So if there's someone who wants to always like take ownership, it's totally fine, and there is quite a lot of proposals in the forum improvement proposals, asset listings that can be taken forward. So if there is someone who is very interested, and there's always a chance to take ownership and push those forward.
Yeah, it's a good time to like remind that anyone that is like passionate about something can take the initiative and make a proposal or a request for comment, and like really push it on their own. You don't need the agreement of the team, the Aave development team, or even you don't need to be from the team of another project to push something about their asset. It's really open to everyone. If we don't have any other questions, then I think we could.
I think we have a few. There's one DeFi slate. I'll ask to unmute.
Oh, okay, great.
Hey, what's up, guys? It might be a little bit windy here. I'm Andy from DeFi Slate. Been on and off the call. I love the topics, learned quite a bit. Super interested in the idea of the Gauntlet reports. Kind of like the risk management stuff that we've seen is something that bothers a lot of larger investors and even smaller investors. And I mean, it's something that I think about every single day, right? As funds are on Aave, as funds are in different smart contracts, all that stuff. So we'd be happy to help get all of that stuff out there and get more involved with any of like the risk management side. I think that's going to be huge for bringing in bigger people, as you all know. So that's really good stuff. And then we are grateful to be a recipient of the grants, and we love the idea of transitioning that to the community. Quite a few other protocols on their forums already kind of have it in that way. It's probably a little bit less efficient, but in the sense of the decentralization aspect, I think it's a great move, and I like that. We have a community coming up, launching. Obviously, we will be, putting a bunch of Aave content in there and doing that. We'd love to collaborate with ISO or one of the people that we haven't spoken to, which thanks a lot, Mark, Stani, Isa, for coming on all of our shows and content. But with this new community, we're going to be featuring Aave and having that in there. So we'd love to get some newer content in there. And yeah, that's going to be kind of what we're working on. We're super excited to be here on this call and to have had Aave as a sponsor. I will stop rambling now. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.
Thanks. I think we have Cameron. I'll ask you to unmute now.
Yeah, hi. This is for anyone at the Aave team. Stani made a great quote in the article that the gas fee shouldn't limit DeFi to 5-figure portfolios. And I'm just very excited and curious. With Aave testing with Polygon, is there going to be almost a bridge to move our debt and collateral onto Polygon, or is there going to be something else? Love what you guys are doing. Thank you.
Yeah, so pretty much now the Aave protocol is deployed on the, of course, on the layer 1, but on Ethereum, but also on the Polygon. So what it means is that you pretty much can use some of the assets that Polygon has natively, but also like practically we, well, if I look currently, the market size since today launch is roughly 600,000. There's many of these assets are wrapped assets, but for example, Matic, the token itself is the native token. So I kind of think it's going to be a mixed market where we have the layer 1 wrapped assets on Matic. Then beyond that, we will have I think the more native assets that will be kind of like born in the Matic ecosystem. I guess what's the idea has been behind of Matic market is not only the lowering of the gas fees and getting more inclusive and more democratic access into the on-chain interest rate markets, but also support the ecosystem that is growing quite quickly now on Matic, Polygon, and especially the NFT community, the gaming community. There's some very amazing stuff happening there, and I kind of could vision that there's going to be just another set of assets just living in Polygon, and now there's actually a interest rate market. So that's the kind of like a plan. But the gas cost is just a fraction of what it is in layer 1. So that's like super amazing, and it's live. So yeah.
We also had a question on the YouTube channel. Someone was asking when is the Polygon Aave market live, and the answer is that it's already live as of right now. So yeah, you can go try it yourself. Exactly. Is there someone else? Just let me see. I don't think anyone has their hand raised.
All right, I think if there's no more questions, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you all so much for joining, and really great to see you all here. If Stani wants to say any last words?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much thanks for everyone for attending. There was at some point 230 attendees. This really shows the strength of the community. And if there's some initiatives you want to be part of, whatever was today discussed, grants or grants program, or you have you're building something on Aave, you're a community developer, feel free to reach out to anyone that has been today participated and presented the topics, or me personally, or someone from the team, and I think there's a lot of things to do and to build, and we're here. So that's the last words, and yeah, thank you everyone for participating.